What's up, everybody? I'm Jesse Showalter, and today we're going to talk about the 3 things that will help step up your design game right now. Like right now. So I got an email from a guy the other day asking me how to become a designer, how to get into design. And I just kind of, because my mentality is just make stuff, right? I shot him back that email. I was like, dude, read a book or 2 and then just start making stuff. And he emailed me back and said, I don't even know how to make stuff. I've never done anything. And I had to kind of stop and go, oh wow, like I need a better answer for this guy than just go out and like fumble around and bumble around and make stuff. At the same time, right around the same time, I had a designer friend of mine kind of asking a similar question. She said that she's been hitting kind of like a design plateau and that she feels like she's a good designer, but she wants to be a great designer. And I'm like, I want that too. That sounds great. So I started thinking about it, and one word came to mind that answers like both of these questions, and that word is fundamentals. And so today, these 3 tips that are here to up your design game, they are fundamentals that if you know nothing about design, this is gonna help you, and if you know a lot about design, this is gonna help you. Fundamentals are so important. It doesn't matter what you do, what you're trying to pursue, what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to be a basketball player, you cannot go to the NBA unless you are really accomplished at the fundamentals of dribbling and moving the ball. It's what people would call second nature. The more that these fundamentals can become second nature to you, the better your designs will be. Think of any design program that you use, whether it's like Photoshop or Sketch or InDesign or Illustrator or whatever it is, how awkward the learning curve is when you start using that program. But as you start going through and kind of mastering every tool and the fundamentals of how to use that program, you stop focusing on the program itself and you start focusing more on what you can make using the program. What we're talking about, fundamentals, they are tools in your tool bag, and the better you know them, the less you have to think about them, and the more you can start thinking about how to use them to create what it is that you have in your mind. This is what we're talking about today, fundamentals. All right, ready? Here we go. Fundamental number 1 is typography. Good typography is one of the basics and one of the foundations of good design. If you don't have that, you don't have a good design. You can make entire designs solely based off of typography and the type of emotive response that happens from that typography. Typography has character. It has excitement, it has energy, it can convey a meaning and a message. And so knowing how to use typography the right ways, that's really gonna change and up your design game. And a couple kind of sub-points on how to up your typography skills. You need to develop a vocabulary for typography. Knowing how to talk about it, knowing how to describe it, knowing how to emphasize its characteristics, this is gonna really help you. So kerning and leading and tracking and ascenders and descenders and all those things, learn what those are real quick. And so then you can start understanding when and how and what you should use for what project. Number 2 tip when it comes to typography would be understanding how typography works on the web. It's 2017, like we're not just designing for print anymore. So understanding in a kind of a comprehensive way how typography works on the web and how that's different from traditional print design, that's gonna be huge. So understanding like vertical rhythm and grid systems and just type sizing and the way that fonts are embedded on websites, all that, understanding that is gonna really help your designs as well. Lastly, learn how to pair fonts together. Knowing what 2 fonts make a really beautiful couple and what 2 fonts don't make a really beautiful couple, that is a skill all in itself, and learning how to do that is gonna be super beneficial to upping your design game like right now. There's some resources that I have, and I'm gonna link all of these down in the description, and so I'll try to categorize them, but you should definitely check those out if you're interested in these. Fundamental number 2, using space to create balance in your designs. It's important that you really understand like how using space, not cramping everything together, not throwing everything like too far apart, but actually just kind of working that muscle of creating a visual harmony in your designs, that is gonna take your designs to the next level. So here's a couple recommendations. If you've been doing the same thing, try something else. If you have been so used to following the rules and using grid systems, maybe learn when to occasionally break that grid system and jump something out of it. I think looking at Dribbble and sites like Behance for kind of like inspirations on how to do that is great, but I would immediately look at some of like how some of the bigger kind of blogging and social media platforms are kind of jumping outside of this. When Facebook took their kind of cover image for posts and stopped kind of being in the grid and jumping outside just a little bit more, all of these things are ways to break the system, to break the rules just slightly enough to where it brings some sort of like interesting rhythm and value to your design. So trying that today would be awesome. Fundamental number 3, using size to create visual hierarchy in your designs. There is nothing worse than a design where everything is of equal weight, everything is of equal value. If everything is important, then nothing is important. And by using size, it is one of the key ways to dictate hierarchy in your designs. So one button is your primary kind of call to action. That button should be bigger most of the time than the secondary or tertiary actions or call to actions in your design. Also, like not just buttons and different like tappable elements or like interactable elements, but even if you're doing print design, you know, like mixing these with some of the skills we've already talked about, like size or spacing and typography. Like your pull quote, if it is larger and spaced out, it immediately takes precedence over the body copy itself. And so using size to really dictate hierarchy and having some variation within your design, in your composition, is going to take your game to the next level. It might feel awkward at first if you're used to having all your ducks in a row, having all of your stuff be really, really tight and similar. Exploding something out and making it an obviously larger size might feel a little yucky to you. Whatever, just go for it, just try it. There's nothing like doing to learn. Side note, once you've dictated a size for one type of element, be consistent with that. I'm not saying go willy-nilly and make everything different sizes and have your designs end up looking like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. What I am saying though is be intentional about size and hierarchy and be consistent with that intentionality. Color theory, super awesome. Well, those are my 3 plus a bonus tip, kind of fundamentals of how to step up your design game like today, right now. You can implement these in any design, in any work you're doing, but I think most important advice of all today is that you make sure that you treat design as a craft, that you are honing your craft when you're doing this. Going back through the fundamentals, learning how to dribble, learning how to throw the ball. Those things might feel rudimentary to us, like and beneath us, like we should know those, but working on them is always a benefit to you as you hone your skills. If you're new out there, don't get discouraged for not knowing any of this stuff. If you're here and you're watching this, just go out and start trying, start making stuff, and start digging into fundamentals. Check those links down in the description. I hope they help you. And if you'd like to see more videos, please make sure to like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's gonna be more videos coming out about design and development and life as a designer. Hope you guys are making awesome stuff. Hope you guys start making even more amazing stuff using some design fundamentals. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.